Kentucky and Mississippi State set to kick things off in just over an hour. Max Smith will get the start, but Jalen Whitlow will be available to play if needed. In just a short period of time, Danica Patrick has become one of the biggest names on the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, but there are still some who question whether or not she can be a dominant driver. Well, it's less than a month to go in the high school football season. The playoffs winding down in a couple of weeks will crown 6 champions from across the state. Hello again. Welcome into another edition of High School Game Time. I'm Lee K Howard. He is the pride of Butler High, Brian Milam.
Who are in the 6A semifinal.
Anyone that knows anything about recruiting knows it's a process that never ends. Stoops said he and his staff have already been focusing on the class of 2014. Kentucky and Vanderbilt set to tip off SEC play tonight here at Memorial Gym in Vanderbilt. We are just about an hour away from tip-off to the doubleheader in Dallas. The Kentucky and Baylor men's and women's team. The women, they start at 7:30 with the men's game following at 10 o'clock. It was a competitive game from start to finish, and of course 6 of these players on the court Wednesday night will be Wildcats next season. In the previous game at South Carolina, the Wildcats found themselves in an early 21-point deficit. Mark Stoops knows it will be important to not allow Mississippi State to start fast. More football, more mud down in Somerset. It's a 5A matchup. One lost Madison Southern, undefeated Pulaski County. Riley Hall hooks up with George Gregory for the early touchdown. 6-0 Maroons. Extra point was no good. Southern gets into the end zone at the end of the first quarter. Damian Harris gets to the outside and just gets in front. Look out for the cameraman. Yours truly. 2-point conversion was good, 8-6. Pulaski's Aaron Smith takes the direct snap, goes up the middle for the 8-yard score. Watch out for the slide. Slides in safe, and Pulaski wins a close one, 32-28. The Maroons will meet Anderson County in the semis next Friday in Lawrenceburg. Life isn't a matter of miracles.
I see what to do.
But of moments.
I get you forced to get on the fan to go up that.
For 7-year-old Kelly Melton,
First she was a gorilla,
these
Waxy an ape,
are fun, carefree moments.
but then he turned into a cute little bunny.
Moments that have been hard to come by over the past 6 months.
He had fell asleep in school a couple of times, which is something Kelly wouldn't do.
On November the 8th, 2012, Kelly's mom took him to the doctor with an ear infection. There, a nurse discovered something more.
Something just wasn't right. He was looking pale, so she ran a blood test and came back that it was leukemia.
Acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Cancer.
Slip your shoes off.
Didn't know a whole lot about it. You know, I'd heard kids and adults get it, but I had no idea how many until we got up here, and it's just very hard.
You guys should never get cancer.
I think he understands to the point
Yeah, because that stuff is cold.
Right
that
there.
there are times he doesn't feel good,
It's cold.
that he's tired, and of course he's lost his hair. But other than that, he'll just tell you, I have leukemia.
But in a world of social media, even cancer can be battled with friends.
Best friend Ariel made him a Facebook page called Kicking It for Kelly. It started Martavius Nellums. And he got on there and looked at it. Immediately, within a couple of days, Martavius was at the hospital with Kelly.
Now this is a real game-worn jersey.
I can do it every day.
Now say something to Martavius because I'm recording.
Go UK!
And the hospital visits continued. From other members of the UK football team, including head coach Mark Stoops. He even formed a friendship with the biggest Wildcat of them all. What's Nerlens like?
We all kids can imagine. And he's pretty tall.
On May the 4th, Nerlens took Kelly as his special guest to the Kentucky Derby.
I already know my number.
What's your number?
Number 3, the blue one.
He doesn't look at them as athletes. He doesn't care that Nerlens is 7 foot tall and a basketball player. He doesn't look at it that way. Coach Stoops, even though he calls him Coach Stoops, he's just the man who has come to see me and spend time with me and talk to me.
But even the support of the Big Blue Nation
I went to the locker room 2 times.
and the unfailing spirit of a little boy.
No, not yet.
What? I'm gonna feel. Get that hand down there. Get that
Can't numb the sting of needles
No.
I'm gonna count. Kelly, I'm gonna count.
and the cruelness of chemo.
There.
Oh, that hurting.
Me and him were talking, and I just started crying.
Oh, every other time it hurts. I just
Oh, it
don't
does?
say it.
You know, that's my little boy. And he said, Dad, why are you crying? And I said, well, I'm worried about you, bud. And he's like, don't worry about me. He said, I'm going to beat this. And he said, if I don't, he said, I go home to Jesus.
I told my dad one day that I would kick this, and if I don't, I go to God. So we named it Kicking It for Kelly.
So you're trying to kick cancer.
I'm gonna kick it in the butt.
Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
You guys are the better team. You know that, don't you?
As another season
Those guys should not cross the center ice,
winds down
ever.
with high school graduation nearing,
Don't need this. Use this and use your brain.
there's still hockey to be played.
Let's fill their net with rubber and smile as we go by.
It's senior night for the Lafayette Generals, a special night for 12 young Gretzkys playing one final home game. One final chance for head coach Steve York
By the dawn's early light,
to belt out Old Glory. But it's not Coach York's ability to sing that stands out. Rather, his inability to see.
Right now I'm using what I think are my instincts. We need to make some checks. We need to hit some bodies. I go by sound.
Here we go!
I go by sense. I can't explain it, but I believe it works. And I go by a lot by my instincts. And I couldn't tell you where those come from. Sometimes I think they come from 79th and Cicero when I was 12 years old.
79th and Cicero, the block in South Chicago where York grew up in foster care, without a family, without an identity, with a sport on skates.
I was on the ice and I had a jersey. That's what I wanted, was to be part of a team.
A team like the Lafayette Generals, who own a record of 8-5-2 this season.
We've all gotten really good, and I think, this is our year. This is our big time to shine.
17 fearless Generals blindly following their leader to battle.
It's a lot of fun. It's fun to tell friends and look at their faces when they're like, how does that work?
How in the hell did they score?
2-0. They had a 2-0.
2-0? I do everything by Chicago gut. That's all I can say. 5-1, right? 5-1?
A coach's way to give back
Bring it up boards! Bring it up boards!
with the help of a stick and a puck.
I believe that I am going to do now in life with the people that I run into. I'm going to do to them what I wish that I had done. 7-1, right, fellas? I'm going to love them. I'm going to help them. I'm going to take care of them. And I'm going to make them laugh. Good game, and guys. have fun. Good game, guys.